is up, guys? Welcome back to Life on the Wrist. Hope you guys are doing well today. It's another episode of the Departures magazine. This is the holiday edition for November and December of 2020. It is around that time where we are giving gifts to those around us, those our loved ones, as well as our friends and family. And so obviously this issue of the Departures magazine is going to be fairly focused on, I'm going to assume, commerce and things that you can buy for those around you. Watches is a big part of this magazine, and there's some really awesome watches that I found in this magazine. So as normal, what I'll do is I'll switch perspectives so you can actually take a look at some of the advertisements or the stores that they are running in this episode of the Departures magazine about watches. And so that's what we're going to be doing today. There were some really cool ones. We've got our standards, which you probably already are thinking about, but there were some really maybe off the beaten path ones that we don't see very often in the Departures. So without further ado, let me flip perspectives and get into this magazine. All right, welcome to the Departures magazine, the holiday issue, which is for December and November of 2020. This is a pretty cool one. You can see this very interesting cover, and then you've got this red text here. I thought this was a nice kind of Christmassy color, especially with this kind of black and white background. You can see the back is just a advertisement for a Tiffany cuff that you can wear on your wrist. I guess before we kind of get into this, I did mention that there are some very interesting watches in this, but before we get into that, I can quickly do a wrist check. I'm wearing this, if I can get the focus to go, come on, or not. Sorry that I'm battling here. There we go. We've got an Omega Genève from the 70s. Really cool movement. It's a 613. It's got a really interesting date function where you actually set the date by pulling out the crown, which I thought was kind of cool. On this, obviously, stainless steel bracelet. It's a very fun watch to wear. Fits my wrist really nicely too. Anyway, back to what we're really here for, and that's the Departures magazine. So like I said, there's some really interesting watches in this, but you know, the focus of this magazine, definitely this issue, is on commerce. You can see an advertisement from Louis Vuitton for their Bold Fine jewelry collection, which is got their these really interesting necklaces and then these rings. What I thought was really great is that the second, when you turn the page one more time, you've got this really great double spread for the Rolex Submariner. And this is obviously the new Rolex Submariner with the upgraded movement here, the 3230 caliber. It has some really awesome shots of, obviously some dives. You've got this Submariner underwater here, the upgraded clasp, the upgraded movement, and then a close-up of the dial. And it kind of talks about, the new 41mm case, a new movement, and it's how the hashtag perpetual, down here you can see a hashtag perpetual story continues for Rolex. So obviously watches are something that are exchanged during the holidays, and this is trying to, I guess, get people to look at the new Submariner. So a really great double spread here that I really like. It's interesting, I was talking to someone about the Submariners recently, and how I really like the two-liner 14060M, which was one of the previous versions of the Rolex Submariner no date. And so 4-line is cool, but I think the 2-line looks even more epic. So yeah, cool double spread, and I'm glad that we can see this. It is Rolex. It's a very common brand to be in here. Got some more advertisements for Hermes, and we've got some really beautiful Cartier necklaces here, Cartier rings, some Prada advertisements. Black and white seems to be a theme this winter. And we continue through here. Got some advertisements for Dior. Obviously, you can see the jewelry here. As we can kind of continue through these, we do have a watch that pops up soon. If we just keep going through here, wear gloves, guys. Wear masks, please. you can see an advertisement for kind of tourism in Charleston, South Carolina, Dolce & Gabbana, Van Cleef, and then we come to our almost our Old Faithful. You know, travel is something that's involved here, but I think it's more focused on the retail side of things. And we found our Old Faithful, and that is Richard Mille. This is the RM0701, and this is the white version of this watch with these diamonds on the inside, diamond around the outside of the watch case, and the dandelion goes really nicely with this. Richard Mille advertises heavily in this magazine, and so it's not uncommon to see this shot right here. And if we continue one more page, we've got the mushroom Richard Mille advertisement here, the 037. This one obviously has a lot more diamonds with these red accents on the bracelet, as well as this interior side near where the date is. Initially I kind of guessed it was like, what? I don't understand how this kind of goes with all of this, but I guess the red or the dark burgundy underneath this mushroom kind of goes nicely with the burgundy on this the interior of this watch, and the diamonds kind of match the outside of it, so quite cool. On the left side we actually have a very interesting necklace. This is the Serpentina Bulgari necklace. So far we've got the Rolex Submariner, we've got 2 Richard Milles, which is pretty common, and we've got a ton of jewelry, which I think is a very common theme, you know, nice Tiffany piece there. And then we've got something that's a little bit less common that we don't see in the Departures magazine as often, and that is the Code 1159. Now when the Code 1159 came out, I think I was with many people in thinking that some of the other versions were a little bit basic and were not so much in line with what Audemars Piguet typically creates. But I think they actually, thinking about it more, doing some more research on the pieces that they released, they really have created something extremely unique here. And this is kind of a development of their lines and their brand. And they do have some really beautiful Code 1159s that they have released. So you can see here, this is the blue version here, the blue dial version here with this darker outside bezel here, or outside ring, and then it kind of becomes this kind of deep shade of blue, which is really nice. This is the time only piece, and then over here is the chronograph, and basically this kind of just describes the watch, you know, fume lacquered sun ray burst dials with this. They all come in colors like burgundy, purple, royal blue, gray, and they really do catch the light is what they're basically describing here. 18 karat white and pink gold, which is a beautiful combination, especially on this one. I don't know if it's very visible here, but a really beautiful color here. Let me get this in focus. Yeah, there we go. Really beautiful kind of combination of the dial and the blue the blue dial and the case color. So really beautiful advertisement. I'm glad that they're advertising in this magazine, because I think this is exactly where they should be going. It's obviously got the Code 1159 movement, which I think is really a step forward for this company. And Audemars Piguet is known for being known for their innovation. I think this is a part of it, no matter what you think about them. So cool advertisement and cool double spread. So far we've had some very cool double spreads of watches in this, especially the Rolex, and then obviously the Code 1159. We've got a lot of travel guides, fashion information here. As we kind of continue, you can see the Loire Valley advertisements here, really beautiful interiors. But we are here about watches, and that is what I'm going to try and kind of skip through. It's crazy. I was thinking about this as well, as how empty Las Vegas probably is right now. And so that's probably explains this advertisement here to try to get people back into their casinos. As we kind of mosey on through here, like I said, retail is a big part of this magazine, especially for the holiday issue. You can see a Vempe advertisement here. They obviously do sell some very cool watches, but they're advertising jewelry at the moment. And so we shall continue through here. I know that there is some more in-depth articles in this magazine, but I really want to kind of keep the focus of this to the watches, because that's kind of what this channel is all about. Again, you know, some really interesting pieces here, but we will kind of skip through this to this page right here. And so this page here has some, I guess, some odds and ends that you would have in your house. You've got, you know, a tennis racket, a Macintosh, record player. I think this is some type of tennis shoe, I want to say. And then interestingly here we've got this wrist that is wearing 2 watches, which I don't think I would say is the best use of wrist, maybe put on the other wrist, but we've got 2 watches. So the first one is a Hublot Classic Fusion Titanium King in gold, and then the other one that is closest to the individual's hand is the Rolex Milgauss in steel. And so I'm going to give you a little bit of a close-up. I will say the picture itself is kind of not fuzzy, but very dark, and so you can see the Hublot is fairly clear, but the Milgauss, you can faintly see that outline of the Milgauss hand. That's obviously pretty iconic when it comes to the Milgauss watch. But I did think it was cool that that was included on this. Put the other watch on your other wrist though, if you want to wear 2 watches. The Hublot shape kind of reminds me of this. This Omega actually reminds me more of the AP shape, but still, yeah. If I had a choice between these 2, I'd go with the Milgauss. That's just my personal preference. It's a little bit less expensive than the Hublot, and Hublot probably wouldn't fit my wrist very well. So, just my honest opinion. Let me know in the comments which one you would choose. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe that takes us to the end of this magazine. But I will say that there are some, again, black and white seems to be a very big theme when it comes to advertising this season. Again, you can see a little bit of a wrist here, a watch here, but I'm not really sure. And I don't think it says what the, actually it does. It is a Tiffany Maker's watch. Don't really know much about it, so we'll just kind of continue through here. This guy kind of looks like, I don't know if you guys follow the Bundesliga at all, but I guess he's at PSG now, but he reminds me of Tuchel, who used to be the Borussia Dortmund coach, and now coaches PSG. Kind of looks like him. I don't know if that's just me. Let me know in the comments if you agree. But yeah, I think that brings us to the end of this issue. I don't think I remember seeing any. Look at this beautiful food. I don't think there were any other. This is just craftsmanship right here. Absolutely beautiful. But we're about watches. We can talk about food some other time. So yeah, that brings us to the end of this this issue of the Departures magazine. So I hope you guys enjoyed seeing these watches, and what I'll do is I will switch the perspectives back so we can close out this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the Departures magazine. The holiday issue was really cool. I thought that Code 1159 little blurb was kind of nice to see. I think, like I said, I think Code 1159 gets a little bit of a bad rap with it. So I'm glad that, you know, they're starting to advertise, and I think this is the perfect place to do it. We also saw our standards like Richard Mille in this episode, in this issue. And also that really interesting wrist shot of that Rolex and the Hublot, which I thought was cool. So let me know what you guys think about this issue of the Departures magazine. And if you haven't done it already, be sure to hit that subscribe button if you like these types of videos. And please smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm, really does help us out. And with this said, guys, thank you so much for watching, and until next time.